By the time your brain actually registers the snap of your fingers, the physical event has already ended. Your conscious experience of the present is a construction, a hallucination of a timeline that has passed. Light and sound travel at different speeds, and your nervous system processes visual data and audio data at vastly different rates. This creates a physical problem. By the time these sensory signals reach your brain's processing centers, the now you think you're witnessing is gone. To compensate, the brain employs a mechanism similar to a live TV tape delay. It catches mismatched signals, holding them in a neurological buffer. This diagram shows how the brain syncs these points together. It waits for the slowest data to arrive before editing the package into a single, unified moment. Most of us go through life believing we are interacting with the world in real time. We assume our consciousness is a direct window into the immediate present. But because of this biological lag, you are never actually in the present. Every human experience is a delayed broadcast, meaning you are permanently living slightly in the past. Neuroscientist David Eagleman realized that because chronological time is a mental construction, it is surprisingly malleable. To prove this, he set up an experiment where a participant presses a button, and that press immediately triggers a flash of light. Then, Eagleman added a hidden 0.1-second delay between the button press and the light flash. After several presses, the subject's brains adapted to the lag, shifting their internal clocks to resync the events and perceive them as simultaneous. Once the brain was calibrated to the delay, Eagleman suddenly removed it. The light began to flash the instant the button was pressed. This sudden change breaks the brain's internal logic and reverses the subject's perception of time. Because the brain was still expecting a delay, the instant flash arrived too early. The subjects reported a chilling sensation. They believed the light flashed before they had even touched the button. This demonstrates that our sense of causality, the order of cause and effect, is not a direct observation of the physical world. It is a narrative that the brain fabricates to explain the data it receives. Eagleman's experiment shows how easily we can be tricked for a fraction of a second. But for some, the brain's temporal editor fails on a permanent, catastrophic scale. The neurologist Oliver Sacks documented cases where the internal clocks of his patients were not just manipulated, but ceased to function. His most famous case was Jimmy G, the lost mariner. We rely on a temporal anchor to record new memories and track our movement through life. Jimmy's damage destroyed this ability, meaning he could not retain any new information for more than a few seconds. Without the brain's ability to process and store new moments, the timeline stops. Time itself ceases to move forward for the observer. Because Jimmy's brain could no longer update his reality, his mind remained locked in the year 1945. He believed he was still a young sailor. If shown a mirror, he would look at his aged reflection with profound confusion, unable to reconcile his gray hair with the youth he felt he still possessed. Jimmy existed as a man with no past and no future. He lived in a floating, reset now, where every person he met and every room he entered was being seen for the first time, over and over again. Whether it's Eagleman's subjects seeing a light before they press a button, or Jimmy G losing 40 years of his life, the conclusion is the same. The timeline we trust is incredibly fragile. If milliseconds can be recalibrated and decades can be erased by a change in biology, then your entire sense of now is a construction. Your reality is not what is happening. It is only what your brain tells you happened.